Hey guys, how's it going? Haley here. Today, the day that I'm filming this, is Wednesday, September 19th, and I am moving on Friday, so my life is absolute insanity right now. There's so much going on between packing and ordering things that I need for my dorm and all that, but of course I still had to set aside a little time to talk to you guys, and today's topic is going to be picking a major. So I know that this is something when you're progressing through community college, you're kind of like, how should I go about this? Like, what should I do? You know, some people are totally lost. They don't even know where to start out. They don't know what their interests are, what they're good at. And that's exactly what we're going to discuss in today's video. So keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that I'd like to address in regards to picking a major for community college students is that your major that you pick, that you intend to transfer with and pursue at a 4-level university, does not need to be the same as the degree, the associate's degree that you're graduating with at your community college. To give you guys an example, my degree that I graduated from West Valley with is a degree in liberal arts with an emphasis on social and behavioral studies. So that is the associate's degree that I got from West Valley, my community college. And the degree that I will graduate from UCLA with is a bachelor's degree in applied linguistics. So those two things are not the same. They're not even necessarily related, but they don't have to be. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You may or may not even end up actually graduating with an associate's degree from your community college. Some people just take their general education requirements, i.e. they're a GETC, and then they move on to a 4-year university such as a UC or a state school. But myself, I chose to complete the associate's degree because pretty much it's just a few extra classes that are specialized and they're centered around whatever topic if you're choosing, in addition to your GE requirements, you're a GETC, so I was like, why not? For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be discussing specifically what your bachelor's degree, and so this is for your undergraduate degree, not necessarily what you're gonna be doing at the community college level, but what you're working towards from community college to transfer into a 4-year university. They could be the same, they could be not. Once again, it doesn't really matter so much what your associate's degree is in. But for your bachelor's degree, the number one thing that you need to do in terms of like actually exacting what you want to pursue is you're going to need to take a wide variety of classes. So the good news is in community college, you're going to be doing that already. You're going to be working for your general education. You're going to be taking things from all over the academic spectrum, different fields, which is great. And the best way to approach this is take those classes, figure out which ones you like a little bit better, find a kind of niche if you can. You know, you may or may not figure it out in your first semester. Don't freak out if it takes you a long time. I changed my major so many times in community college. And the reason I actually ended up taking 3 years in community college rather than the traditional 2 is because I couldn't like decide what I wanted to do, but I finally made up my mind. It's important to note that your pathway to figuring out what you want your degree to be in is not necessarily going to be linear. You may jump around here and there, you know, you may come back to something, and keep in mind that if you keep coming back to something, that is a definite little mental note you want to make to yourself. If you guys don't know this about me, I worked in the bridal industry for 5 years. And the one things that we would always tell our brides when they were trying to figure out what wedding dress they wanted to actually walk down the aisle in is if something keeps coming back to your mind, you might as well go with that one because you're going to compare every single other dress to that thing. And it's kind of a similar principle in this. If you keep thinking, oh, I should have done this, I wish I was studying this instead of this, well, go out and pursue the thing that is weighing on your mind. Once you kind of figure out which area you want to specialize in, you can start taking a few more classes in that area. Once you get like more specialized classes in that area, that's when you're really going to figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. A great way to start off if you have absolutely no idea what you want to do in life is have a sit down with yourself and have a real conversation with yourself. What are your long-term career goals? Do you like working with children? Do you like helping people learn new things? Do you like, I don't know, do you like math? Like, you need to think about that. You need to sit down, have that talk with yourself, and kind of narrow it down. Even if you're doing something that's very general and you're like, okay, I like working with kids, you can figure out what fields will involve working with children in the future. And then that way, once you figure out what your career goal is, it's much easier to orient yourself in the direction of the degree that you intend to pursue. Be realistic with yourself. If you hate math or science or writing or reading, and you're not good at it, and you're not willing to put in the amount of work it takes to be good at it, you're probably going to want to avoid a major or a degree that is really heavy in those topics. For me, as I mentioned before, I'm really bad at math and I'm pretty bad at science. So when I first started off in community college, I wanted to major in geology. And I still think geology is really cool, but I literally walked into my chemistry lecture on my first day of community college and I was like in tears because I could not follow along with what the professor is saying. And that's when I decided to change my major. And you know what? That was my first day of community college. It took me a year or two to figure out that I wanted to major in linguistics, but here I am today and that's all that matters. As you're figuring out what you want to major in, it's important to be practical about what you're picking. You need to be thinking long term, not just short term. You need to be thinking about what will serve you best in your future, in the workforce, in grad school, if that's something that you want to pursue. You can't just think, okay, this is what's cool right now, this is what I want to do right now, so let me just take this and then 2 years I'll have a degree in that. Great. You need to think beyond those 2 years. Is this something that will serve you well as you're entering the workforce? Is this something that employers are looking for, especially if you have a career goal in mind? You need to think about what will pay off in terms of hireability. There are certain fields that are looking for certain degrees. If your dream is to be, an architect, you obviously need to pursue a degree in architecture, whatever is related to architecture, and not a degree in French. Not saying that it's impossible, sometimes it can happen, but you need to think about the whole point of this is you need to have the skill set that employers are looking for. You'll want to be hands-on as you're pursuing your degree. So once you figure out what area you kind of want to go into, you can always get involved by taking on an internship or volunteering if you have extra time in your schedule that allows for that. That's a great way to dip your feet in the water of a field and figure out, okay, this is something that I actually enjoy doing without, 2 years down the line, you're in your degree program and you're like, okay, I'm not so happy about this. Remember that the whole reason that you're doing this is not only for your educational purposes, but it should also fuel an interest inside of you. And remember that your degree is going to be pretty expensive when you come out with it, especially if you're going to a UC. So you don't want to waste, $30,000, $60,000, $70,000 for something that you don't even enjoy. I think the most important thing to keep in mind as you're going through this process of figuring out what you want to major in is that it's okay if you take extra time to figure it out. If you need more than 2 years to figure out what you want to do and to strengthen your grades enough to be accepted into a program that you are interested in, especially if you're going into a competitive school, that is okay. Not everyone is the same. Like I said, your pathway is not necessarily going to be linear. So don't freak out if you're entering and you have no idea what to do. I personally changed my major probably 7 or 8 times. It started when I was a junior in high school. I wanted to be a political science major because I wanted a PhD. But then I was like, I hate politics and I hate confrontation and I hate argumentation, and that's pretty much the whole thing, right? So then switched over to geology. Geology didn't work out for me because math and science are not my forte. So then I think geography, but then I actually took a geography class at West Valley and it was so boring and I hated it. Eventually, that led me to anthropology, and through anthropology, I was introduced to linguistics. So, your whole experiences are leading up to what you're eventually going to do in life. Keep that in mind. The more that you experience life and the more that you expose yourself to, the better you are in terms of actually figuring out what you want to do. So don't stress out, expose yourself, introduce yourself to new things, and let yourself try things. It's okay if you don't actually end up going through with it. That's life, that's community college. This is your time to experiment. With that said, I really hope that this has inspired you guys and helped you guys kind of figure out where to start as you're going through your community college journey and trying to transfer. Leave any questions that you have down below. Let me know, if you just need someone to talk to about that. I know it can be quite stressful. Always go ahead and leave the comments down below. I respond to them pretty quickly. As always, please like the video if you enjoyed and you benefited from the content. Share with anyone who you think could also benefit from the content. And then please subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. I am constantly posting new transfer and community college content, and I am starting at school next week, so you should be seeing a lot more UCLA content coming at you soon. All right, thank you so much, guys. Bye.